Hello, boys and girls. Good morning. Eevee and I are here today to read you a nonfiction book, and it kind of goes with our reading lesson for today. Tadpoles and Frogs. We learned about the life cycle of a frog in our reading lesson today from our weekly reader. So let's read a little bit more about frogs, see what we can learn. Tadpoles and Frogs. So we have our table of contents in here that tells us everything we're going to learn, and on every page. This first section is called Frog Eggs. In a quiet pond, a mother frog lays lots of little eggs in the water. The eggs are called frog spawn. Each egg is a tiny black blob. Each blob can turn into a frog. These tiny little dots are all the eggs. Baby tadpoles. Inside a frog's egg is something growing. It starts out as a tiny dot. It gets bigger and bigger. It becomes a tadpole. The tadpole breaks out of the egg. It wiggles its tail and swims away. Some of these tadpoles are coming out of their eggs. Can you see them? There's enough food in each egg to last 21 days. So they can eat in their egg before they're born or before they're hatched. Tadpole life. Tadpoles live in ponds and streams. They wiggle their tails to swim. Tadpoles have tiny teeth and eat pond weeds. Can you see their eyes? Tadpoles breathe under the water using gills, like fish. They have a labeled gill and flap. At first, the gills look frilly like this. Later, the flaps grow over the gills. Hungry fish like to eat tadpoles. The tadpoles swim fast to get away. These tadpoles are brown like the stones in the pond. They can hide so hungry fish can't see them. They use like camouflage to hide under the stones. And those are the gills and the flaps we talked about. They're kind of like fish when they're first born. Growing up. As a tadpole grows up, it turns into a frog. Follow the numbers to see how. First, 2 legs grow near its tail. Next, 2 legs grow near the front. Third, its tail gets shorter, and fourth, soon its tail almost is gone. Fifth, now it has become a frog. One kind of tadpole grows up on its mother's back. It hops off after it has become a frog. It's kind of interesting. Head to toe. Frogs have big eyes on top of their head. They can see all around them. This is the frog's ear. Can you see the frog's nostrils? Those are noses. Different kinds of frogs have different eyes. Some have heart shapes, slits, or ovals in the middle of their eyes. This is a webbed foot. Many frogs have webbed feet. This means they have skin between their toes. Webbed feet help frogs swim fast. Frogs also aren't always green. They could be yellow or blue or red, and some have spots or stripes too. Those are the webbed feet, like little ducks, to help them swim fast. Jump and splash. Frogs live on land and in water. They have long, strong back legs. Frogs don't walk to get around, they jump. A frog can jump 20 times the length of its own body. How far can you jump? 20 times the length of its body? That's like if a frog is this long, you can jump 20 of those lined up in a row. This frog is diving into the water. Frogs are good swimmers too. Dinner time. Hungry frogs like to eat bugs and flies. Follow the numbers to see a frog catch a fly. The frog rolls out its tongue. The fly sticks to the frog's tongue. The frog rolls its tongue back in, and the frog shuts its mouth with a snap. Frogs swallow their food whole. A frog's eyeballs bob down when it swallows. This helps push the food down its throat. Some frogs don't have long tongues. They have to jump to catch their dinner. This frog is jumping to catch the bug before it crawls away. So some bugs have a long tongue to catch their food and some don't. Slimy and warty. Some frogs have wet, slimy skin. They don't drink water. Water goes in through their skin. Frogs change their skin to keep it fresh. This is called shedding their skin, like snakes do. The frog wriggles its old skin until it becomes loose. It pulls the skin over its head like a sweater. It eats the old skin, and the new skin beneath it is new. Gross. The toad is a kind of frog. Toads are different from other frogs. They have dry, warty skin. A toad. Here's a labeled picture of a toad. Toads don't mind living in dry places. Some even live in the desert. So a frog is slimy, and a toad is warty or bumpy and dry. Hide and seek. Some animals like to eat frogs. Some frogs hide so they can't be seen and eaten up. Can you see the green frog? This green tree frog is hard to see on that leaf. On a brown branch, it's easy to see. Now its skin turns brown, and it's harder to see. These frogs are poisonous. They don't need to hide. Their bright skin tells animals they are bad to eat. A single drop of poison from an arrow poison frog's skin could kill you. So this is the frog changing its color from green to brown to blend in, and those are the poison ones. Frog tricks. Frogs have tricks to stop animals from eating them. If an animal bites a tomato frog, it gets a sticky surprise. The snake bites the tomato frog. The sticky goo comes out of the frog's skin. The snake's mouth fills with the goo, which tastes bad, and the snake lets go. The frog hops away. Many animals eat their dinner alive. The river frog pretends it's dead, so animals leave it alone. We learned about the tomato frog in our weekly reader. These frogs have marks that look like big eyes on their bottoms. If they are in danger, they show their bottoms. So their backs have eyes on them. Like you hear people say, I have eyes in the back of my head. They really do. But it's a disguise to hide from a predator. The frogs hope the fake eyes make them look bigger and scarier than they really are. Kind of do look like eyeballs. Hot and cold. Frogs don't like cold weather. In the winter, lots of frogs go to sleep for a long time. This is called hibernation. A frog finds a safe place to sleep. It goes to sleep all winter long. In the spring, it gets warm and the frog wakes up. So they kind of like freeze underground. Frogs don't like to be too hot or dry. This frog lives in the hot, dry desert. It digs a hole in the sand. It stays there because it's cooler. It only comes out when it rains. Some frogs freeze like ice cubes in the cold winter. In spring, they thaw out and wake up. So frogs don't do well in the super hot heat, but toads, they said toads do. Frog song. When frogs grow up, they come back to the pond where they were born. A male frog sings in a croaky song. The female frog hears the song she likes. She comes to find the singer and they start a family. This is how a frog croaks. It puffs its throat up like a balloon. This makes the croaky sound. The frog squeezes the air into its body, and this makes another croak. Have you heard frogs croak before? Frog homes. Frogs live in different kinds of places. Many frogs live near ponds and lakes. This frog lives in someone else's home. In the day, the gopher frog sleeps in a tortoise's burrow. At night, the tortoise comes home, so the frog goes out. Some frogs live in trees. They have sticky suckers on their toes. These help the frogs stick to the leaves. Some frogs live in trees their whole life without ever coming down. Do you know any frogs that live near you? They show his little suction cup on his fingers to help him hold himself up and climb. Fantastic frogs. There are some fantastic frogs in the world. This is one of the smallest frogs. The picture shows its real size. That's its real size right there, that little speck. And this is the biggest frog in the world. It's called a Goliath frog. That's a frog. It's about the same size as a pet. cat. This frog doesn't hop, it flies. It uses its feet as wings. That is so cool. It glides from tree to tree. This frog lays eggs and then swallows them. The babies grow in the mother's tummy. Then they hop out of her mouth. What? Are they coming out of her mouth? So we learned some interesting facts about frogs. This is just the glossary of extra words at the end. Nonfiction books give us lots of facts and information about things that we're learning. So what are some facts and information that you learned from this story today? Share them with the person you're with. Hope you enjoyed Kitty Cat Storytime today with Eevee. We'll see you in the next video. Bye!